Beginning. The offering. The planet Veylara hung like a blood-red jewel against the void, its twin moons circling like watchful eyes. It was a world of the Dravka, a reptilian race known across the Orion Reach for their devotion to the Sky Serpents, colossal dragons said to descend from the stars themselves. Every decade, the Dravka performed a ritual known as the Offering of Flame. They believed that only by offering a life, pure, innocent, and untainted, could they keep the dragons appeased. Without the offering, storms of fire would rain from the heavens, burning their cities to glass. But this year, the offering was different. The Empire's forces had landed on Veylara months before, attempting to bring the Dravka into the human dominion. Negotiations failed, and skirmishes erupted across the desert plains. When the dust settled, a small human colony on the planet's edge was left in ruins. Only one survivor was found, a human child, no older than 6. And so, the priest decided the gods had delivered their sacrifice themselves. The child's name was Elian Ward. He was pale, with tangled hair and a small scar across his cheek, marks of the destruction that had taken his parents. The Dravka treated him not with cruelty, but with fearful reverence. They painted him with golden dust, placed him in silk robes, and whispered to one another that his death would save their world. On the night of the offering, the skies ignited with violet storms. The priest led the boy to the crater of Than, where molten rivers pulsed like veins through the rock. At the center, a vast shadow moved, slow, serpentine, alive. The Sky Serpent. Its scales shimmered like glass catching starlight, and its eyes burned with suns that never set. Its breath rippled the air, carrying the scent of ozone and burning metal. The Dravka fell to their knees. Elian did not cry. He simply looked up, wide-eyed and silent, at the creature looming over him. The high priest raised his blade, chanting ancient words that made the air tremble. Lightning crackled in the clouds. But before the blade could fall, the dragon spoke. Middle, the dragon's choice. This child bears no fear. The voice was deep, layered, as though it came from every direction at once. The priest froze, trembling. The high priest's hand shook as he lowered the blade. He speaks. The Sky Father speaks. The dragon's eyes glowed brighter. You bring me an offering not of your kind, but of theirs, the ones who scorch worlds, the ones who unmake creation. The Dravka pressed their foreheads to the ground. Forgive us, Great One, the high priest rasped. The child was sent to us by fate. Surely the stars willed his blood for your flame. The dragon's head lowered, its face inches from the trembling boy. It studied him with eerie stillness. Elian raised his hand. He didn't scream, didn't beg. He simply reached out and touched the dragon's snout. The air went silent. The lightning stopped. Even the magma pools seemed to still. The dragon's gaze softened. This one is different. He carries the echo, the bond once lost. No Dravka understood what that meant, but across the galaxy, ancient forces stirred. The dragon unfurled its massive wings and roared, sending a shockwave across the desert. When the dust cleared, the child was gone. The priest believed he had been devoured. They sang praises to the sky and returned to their city. But Elian was not dead. He awoke inside a vast chamber of crystal and firelight. The dragon, now smaller, almost human-sized, sat beside him, wings folded, eyes curious. I am Therix, last of the Starborn. You, child of Sol, have been chosen. Elian blinked, frightened but entranced. Chosen for what? He asked softly. Therix's gaze deepened. To end the silence between our kinds. To awaken the bond that once joined human and dragon. He told Elian of the First Age, when humans and Sky Serpents coexisted, their minds linked in shared thought. But the bond was broken during the Fracture Wars, when mankind turned its weapons on their dragon allies. Since then, The dragons had retreated into the deep void, appearing only as myths. Therix had been waiting for a sign, a spark of that ancient connection. And now, through Elian, he had found it again. Days turned to weeks. Under Therix's guidance, Elian learned things no human should know. How to hear the hum of stars, how to sense the pulse of energy through stone, how to breathe with the rhythm of a planet. His small body grew stronger, his eyes sharper. Therix was not merely a beast. He was a living conduit, able to tap into the cosmic network of life itself. And through him, Elian began to feel it too. But word spread quickly. The Drav-KYN scouts claimed the boy's spirit haunted the crater, that blue light could be seen pulsing from the depths. When the high priest ascended to investigate, what he found made him fall to his knees in terror. Elian was alive, and hovering above the molten pool, surrounded by wings of shimmering light. Therix's voice echoed through the crater. You sought to kill the bridge between stars, but he shall now bring your gods to their knees. The Drav-KYN fled, screaming. The priest declared a celestial curse had begun, and from that day, nothing on Veylara remained the same. The rising storm. Across the Dominion, whispers of a human child bonded to a dragon spread like wildfire. Military satellites caught impossible readings, massive energy flares from the planet's surface, gravitational anomalies, strange telepathic disturbances affecting nearby fleets. When the human Dominion Navy arrived, expecting rebellion, what they found was Wells. Veylara's skies burned with living auroras, and the desert sand shifted like breathing lungs. At the center of it all stood a boy, no longer small, his eyes glowing with dragon light. Fleet Commander Arden Hale, leading the invasion, watched the live feed in disbelief. That's a child, she muttered. What in God's name have they done to him? Her science officer swallowed hard. Sensors indicate bioenergy output equivalent to a small reactor. Whatever is connected to, it's not human. Therix appeared behind Elian, wings unfurled, voice booming across the comms. You came to claim. You came to conquer. Yet all your empires are built on ash. The Dominion ships lock weapons. Elian's small hand rose, and the entire fleet's targeting system shut down. One by one, reactors flickered, lights dimmed, communications died. The void went silent. Then, through every ship, through every speaker, Elian's voice echoed, calm, almost sad. Leave. The dragons are waking. The stars remember. The war that never was. Within days, the galaxy trembled. Other dragons, long thought extinct, emerged from nebulae and dead moons, drawn by the signal from Veylara. They were vast, ancient, luminous, each carrying the memories of lost civilizations. The Dominion called for war, but their weapons failed before the first battle began. Every attempt to strike Veylara was met with something unprecedented, energy nullification. Entire fleets lost power within seconds of engaging. AI cores melted. Quantum drives unraveled. The dragons weren't fighting with fire. They were fighting with the laws of physics themselves. At the center of it all, Elian stood between worlds, human and dragon, both and neither. Through him, Therix communicated with the galaxy's leaders. He showed them visions. The countless planets burned by greed, the ancient pacts broken, the dragons hunted until none remained. He showed them what would happen if history repeated itself. Some humans listened. Others called for his destruction. But on Veylara, Elian's influence grew. The planet's deserts turned green again. The air shimmered with life, and for the first time in millennia, dragons flew freely through alien skies. Still, deep down, Therix warned him, balance demands sacrifice. Creation cannot rise without something falling. Ending, the child who shook the stars. A year later, the Dominion sent one final fleet, led by Commander Hale herself. She did not come to fight. She came to speak. She descended into the crater, where Elian and Therix waited. The boy was taller now, eyes like galaxies. He smiled faintly. "You're not afraid?" Hale shook her head. "No, just amazed. The entire Dominion is frozen in fear and hope. Some believe you're a weapon. Others think you're salvation." Elian looked to the sky, where dragons soared between the clouds. "Neither. I'm just... What happens when both sides stop listening to the past?" Therix's great wings unfurled. The bond is restored. The galaxy must choose peace, or be remade. Hale stepped forward. "And if they refuse?" Elian met her eyes. "Then we begin again." The air shimmered. For a brief instant, every sentient mind in the Orion Reach heard a sound, a heartbeat echoing across space. Dragons roared in unison, their calls merging with that pulse, resonating through stars and void. That moment became known as the awakening. Weapons fell silent. Armies disbanded. A fragile peace spread through the galaxy, not born from victory, but from awe. Historians would later say it was a day the universe remembered it was alive. And somewhere, beyond the twin moons of Veylara, a young boy sat atop a mountain, a dragon coiled beside him, watching the dawn of a new age. "Do you think they'll keep the peace?" Therix asked. Elian smiled softly. "If not, we'll remind them." The dragon rumbled in approval. "You are small, little one, yet the stars bend to your voice." Elian looked up at the rising sun, its light painting the horizon gold. Then maybe it's time they learned that even the smallest life can shake the galaxy